I can put you in contact with my professors there because I studied in Lebanon first and then
In the American University?
Yes, American University.
I know some of them.
Jos Mat.
I know him. I received today an email from him.
Yeah, he's a very close professor of mine.
He's very nice.
Yes.
I gave a lecture in Beirut 2 years ago, something like that. And,
okay. I was already in Europe.
So, I know Jos a bit. The architect.
There's Abdel Halim. Robert Saliba.
No, this one was the
Karim
father.
Nader.
That the father was also an architect. That is the name. Khoury, Michel Khoury.
Khoury. Bernard Khoury.
Bernard Khoury.
Yes.
I invited him last semester, 2 semesters ago.
Yes?
To be in the jury, to be here
Oh,
in the
really?
jury.
Yeah, I saw him in Milano because I was studying in Politecnico di Milano before coming here, and he was giving a lecture. That's how I know him. I know him outside Lebanon, but of course I know his work. He's great. Yes.
No, in Arabia, I know several people there. I've been there very different times. It's a fantastic city.
Yes.
It's a difficult place.
Yes, very difficult.
By many conditions, but
yes.
it's a fantastic city. I like very much.
That's great.
No, I like very much. I know a little. I've been there maybe, I don't know, 10 times or 5 times, 7 times. Because I was invited to a competition by Solidaire, not this one, another one. And this invitation means that you must be there, you must go there to look at
see the site and so on.
And that they explain the content, the program and things. And after that, you must go back to present the project. And after that, they decide to follow the competition with 2. So we continue another time, so the 3rd time. And after that, they decided not to do anything more. So it's not to do anything.
That's very typical of Solidarity.
And after that, Arbit invited me to give a lecture in relation to I don't know why, but to my work.
But what was the
to my work. And after that, the Solidaire sold this land to a developer, and this with a list of architects. They must choose one of these architects, and these people they visit all the architects or part of the list, and they decided that we are going to do the project. So it was also a total chance. Another chance.
But if you need my help in anything, I'm here. So I would love to. I already worked on a project in the Solidaire area. It was the House of Art and Culture. They opened the competition maybe 4 years ago, and I worked on the competition, and then the group who won the competition was from Milano. So I also worked on the winning project in Milano. I helped them also with the translation of the laws and so.
Because you can speak
Italian, Arabic, French.
French, English.
Yes. So it was useful for them.
Yeah. So no, it's a fantastic. Now we are doing after that, because that started 3 years ago. The whole thing. We are doing a research here at the chair. Now we are just preparing the publication. It's on the editor on the Middle East, and there is a chapter on Beirut also.
Okay. Well, if you need any
it's almost
help,
everything done.
assistance,
Everything is
yes.
done. Everything.
Okay.
It's nice.
I'm curious to see.
And how long are you going to stay here?
Well, I did 1.5 years of my PhD. I still have 1.5 years, and maybe more, I'm not sure. But at least 1.5 years more I'm
More
here.
you're going to be here.
Yes. So for
So
for now this is the plan, and afterwards who knows. We'll see.
Well, but curious, Lebanon. How is the situation now? Because
It's
now
okay.
it's okay.
As
It was
far as-
okay all the last 3 years, but now with all the Syrian problems
There's
and
lots and lots of immigrants,
from Syria.
refugees basically
Refugees.
from Syria, and their situation is not good.
Mhm.
But politically we had some issues because the prime minister resigned recently,
Yeah.
but they already elected,
Another-
let's say elected another
another
prime minister who's rather stable. I know him already from before.
Mhm.
So far politically it's okay. We didn't get involved yet so much in the
And the war. Yeah.
Syrian war. Hopefully the Syrian war will be over soon. But
It's difficult to
that's,
believe
difficult.
because it's a war that it seems that nobody can win, basically.
Yes, they're killing each other.
They're killing each other and it's... Anyway, so I know a
Well,
little
sooner
bit
or
the
later
vision.
this president will die.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But,
either he will die peacefully outside the country somewhere, or he will die in the country in this war. I don't know, but yes,
it's
not
a very difficult situation.
Yes.
I know a little bit the vision, but after that, this kind of the French Solidar thing, when I was invited 3 years ago, and I discovered, and I thought it was a fantastic place, basically. And very exciting. And now here we have been making this research, and I've been in Amman and in Jordan and
yes. I
which
also
is
have professors.
which is a
Amman.
fantastic place.
Yes, I've been there. I also have a professor in Amman, and I forgot his
Rami
name.
Daher.
Yes, Rami Daher, yes. Yes, He's
Do
great.
you know him personally?
Yes.
He's like a
Yes, I know, he was my
trial-
teacher. Because he was a visiting professor in AUB when I was there, and I stayed in very good contacts with him. So when I went to Amman, he took me on a tour, architecture
I
tour.
was also there with him.
Yes.
Someone.
Also when Philippe Ursprung went to Amman for a while, and I put him in contact with Rami Daher. And yeah, he's a great professor.
Must be.
He's a great
He was.
professor,
I
and
invited.
he's very inspiring.
And I invited him also here because.
Yes, actually, yes. I was supposed to meet him when he came.
That was last year or
Yes,
something like that.
yeah, almost.
Because
Yes.
we went to there into that was in the context of this research because we were there. We sent our seminar bookers there, and we had people researching. And after that, we invited people. So in two semesters now, we invited every 2 weeks somebody from the area.
Yes, I was supposed to meet him when he came, but I had a deadline the day after, so I was restrained. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you need more. So in my the Britain things that I can say, they are in this Coquadance 80s, in the 80s, and because there are many arguments connected to that, and it was a point of view that was developed, and I think that influenced, I don't want to say because it doesn't matter, I have no any interest in that, but that was connected to the influencing also
The thought
of Ignacy, I think so. I
Yes,
think so, but without any kind of.
So you think it was mostly initiated within the 80s rather than the 90s?
I think so. I think that the origin of the whole thing, in my opinion, is this kind of postmodernistic, let's say, history, the modernistic history, and in a way, in parallel, on 1 second after, the big wave, the winning moment of this kind of historicism as a kind of tool to build the world, basically, no? And this kind of historicistical style that from America and also Europe and this kind
It
of
was
point of
against
view.
this way, really?
And in parallel, but this is very clear to connect it to architectural and the intellectual and discourse. When something is winning, immediately the counter cells start to work. So when there is a winning thing,
Yes, it's a bit like
the counter, the virus, the counter virus start to re-attack in a way.
Yes.
In a certain point, maybe the counter virus are not so fragile or are totally eaten.
Yes.
But in other moments, the counter virus produce something. No? And this was a certain, in my opinion, was a certain counter virus. As another point of view, another just looking in another direction, another possibilities, and so on and so on. And that's some years after produce more consistent, let's say, arguments.
Yes.
And Ignacy, in my opinion, connected to his capacity and his opening and his somehow interest for looking at the things with in a broad sense. Synthesize was one of the voices that made a synthesis on that to make a real produce like a synthesis of the.
Yes, it seems to me that
this
text was a synthesis
of this kind of work. Of this kind of work.
Should have been more of a book than an article. Because everyone who talks about this way of thinking refers back to the text of Morales.
No, because the text
which is just a small text, but it seems
the
to
Morales, Solán Morales made this because he was able of doing that. So, and some people is able of has done in history. So there is something that is producing a synthetical piece that concentrates, condensates a kind of many energies, many other inputs coming from many and synthesize a certain situation that somebody has to do. It's a kind of, and he was able of doing that because his capacity and he was really prepared to that. He was in a way his work, his position into that.
What do you think is the relevance for the post-90s? So
the post-90s
or currently?
So this is what was an idea. That was a kind of, as in my interpretation, it was a counter virus, no, from against something, no. This counter virus, in a way, won clearly because who remembers the postmodernistic approach? No?
And remember it in a negative way.
In a positive way, nobody. In a positive way. So in a way, this kind of product lost absolutely the battle, no? And this kind of new world, produces, at least partially, produces this kind of the death of the animal, of this animal, no? But in parallel, the discussion ended in this sense. So the train back, it was a kind of moment. There is also a book, I remember, made by Akhtar. Akhtar was an editor, now it's a little bit in bankruptcy in Barcelona, named Akhtar. Akhtar is
I know it.
And he made a book on Berlin, by the way, so terrain back. I remember I made a contribution saying what I am going to say. So that they made a book on Berlin just after the unification. So looking at the terrain back, I think maybe Ignacy had an article there in this kind of Berlin.
He mentioned it also.
In this kind of Berlin book. It's a book with photos made by two photographers, Jordi Bernadó and the editor of Actar, the proprietor, the Ramon Prat, that was also that time he tried to be a photographer. In Berlin, it was the moment of the transition. So when you see all the ruins of the wall or the
I think he
fields.
mentions it in his article about the Rambach. He mentions 3 pictures of Alexanderplatz.
That could be.
And one of them is after the war, after the reunification.
Exactly, that could be.
So.
Could be. So it was a book on photographs, and there were some contributions at the beginning, and I was invited to write down a piece, and I said that for my argument. And what about the after? What after? And it was this terrain back, or this book. So this book, they presented Berlin in this kind of moment when everything was after the war, after it was a big, in the unification, so everything was somehow open to a new dream, to a new thing. So. But in parallel, so on the photographers made all this kind of reality, this kind of frozen reality. It's like Basilico in the pictures of Beirut, no? So it's a kind of artistic point of view of a kind of moment, frozen moment of the history. But in parallel, all the machine of production, in a way, of production, new space, production buildings, the architects, all the bulldozers, the building machines, and they were really preparing a new reality that was going to destroy all these terrain banks and producing a new part. So this kind of philosophy, this kind of point of view that was useful to valorate something and to valorate something in relationship against others, but at the end, when the new reality has to be implemented, so this serves to nothing basically. It was a new world that comes from the end like bombs and produce new architecture. So in this kind of new world, then the situation in between critical and nostalgic disappeared, was not efficient anymore. So I remember the photos of the Berlin, for instance, or the Beirut.
Yes.
So it's a nice thing, but it's after that it's not very useful to look at that, to think in the new city. So the new city, what is going to come, is already coming. So I was looking at the images of Berlin, very nice. The wall are Alexanderplatz as a field with cows, very between nostalgic and memory and somehow metaphysical melancholy and poetry of the absence and so on. But in a certain moment, that is going to appear new things.
Yes.
And we architects are more interested in this kind of things that appear, and all this kind of nostalgia of the other thing is just not so useful.
Yes.
This was my opinion, that it was interesting to be like a virus against the others, but in terms of defining a new architecture, it was not so. It was not so useful. And when this new architecture appears, the nostalgia, melancholy, and all these things disappear.
I think there's potential now.
Probably, no, it always has been a potential. Always has been a potential in this point of view. No, but I remember that I've been editor, I've been connected to photographs and photography and all these things. It's always a point of view, very nice. You will discover a fragment in between the garbage, or the bombs, the ruins. It's kind of neo-Piranesian, like the Beirut in the Basilico.
Yes.
It's a kind of neo-Piranesian visions of, let's say, Rome. So
yes, exactly. There's a very romantic,
romantic and it's a massive, fantastic pictures. The fantastic pictures. But at the end, I am an architect, so I am interested in knowledge, but I am basically an architect.
Yes.
So when you are interested in building, in some certain moment that you say, well, it's a pity, but we are going to do something else.
Yes.
We must do something.
Yes.
We must do something, basically. So we cannot look at the past with this kind of point of view, basically. When you are an architect, when you are a painter, or when you are a photographer, especially a photographer, you can be, no, but as an architect, you must look in another, in a kind of more future oriented. Okay, so
thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have to. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. If you need
for me
also
as well.
something from here, here we are. Now you are the place.
I'll send you an email in case something comes up.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And if anything comes in relation to Beirut, I don't mind even having a look at what you guys are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least out of interest. It's my city. I want to know what's going on.
Okay. It's a project. It's very complicated because I don't understand the clients basically. So it's a kind of group, a local.
You mean?
No. My clients, my Lebanese clients. Huh? So they are a local firm, a local group.
What's the name?
The name is Sipak. The name of Shalik Basim Saideh is one. Basim Saideh. Sadek. Sadek. Basim Saideh.
Sadek?
Sadek is one name. It's one of the name of the president of the company. It's an engineer.
No, I don't.
It's not Basim Sadek. It's Basim Saideh. Is one architect living in London. This is Sadek is the president and engineer of the company, and it's a group of investors, local investors. I don't understand exactly how they think. How do they think? So maybe it's
money.
No money. No. This I could understand.
Oh,
Because it's not so sophisticated. But for instance, at the end of the day, I discovered that the problem was in the top. There is a luxury penthouse, no? And at the end, after many problems, everything was connected to the penthouse. When the owner of the penthouse is the brother of this Sadek. It's another Sadek. He's an architect also, by the way. So it's the brother of the Sadek. You were doing something in the normal floors, and they were not interested. And I said no. And at the end, it was just connected to this kind of penthouse, for instance. So it's difficult because I am used to in the Cartesian way of doing it. You go to the general, to the particular.
Yes.
So, but there is starting, and this is just to show you like a problem that what happened. It's the penthouse, but the penthouse is just one, and you have a
I guess finish the penthouse and do the rest of the piece.
Because you discover always late, no?
Yes, of course.
No, anyway, and I have to go at the end of the month.
When I think that we're building my city based on the front.
And now you are living here all the time
Yes, in Zurich.
In Zurich.
I travel from time to time, either back in Beirut or to Barcelona.
And to Barcelona also.
As well, yes. But not so as often as I would like, because I have
if
things
you go, I am
here.
there. I am based there. I live there.
Yes.
I live in Bilbao. I live basically there. I am here only. My office is there actually. And I have a small office here, but my office is there.
Well, I don't mind visiting your office there in case.
No, you need some information or whatever.
Yes.
So you need my coordinates.
In case if I go, I will let you know.
In case.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck. Bye bye.
Bye.